keynote video yesterday. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Nick. And thank you all so much for coming out. My name's Dave Meyer. I lead product marketing for the Atlassian Marketplace. And the title of my presentation today is Atlassian, Awesome with Add-ons. I figured that if the presentations were listed in alphabetical order, I would make sure that mine came in right at the top. That was after my better ideas for a more link-bait title, the 8 things the add-ons the 8 things they don't want you to know, and my BuzzFeed style title both got rejected. But instead of talking about the title of my presentation, let's talk about you guys. Why are you here? And I hope it's because you want to accomplish more with the Atlassian Marketplace and add-ons and get more done with JIRA and Confluence and extend those products farther. And since my job is to market the Atlassian Marketplace, this is how I want you to feel about the marketplace and ready to go buy add-ons or go install some stuff or go build some stuff and tell the world about it. But you might be here because that might have been your previous experience with add-ons in Atlassian. And so I want to talk about what we're doing to make some possibly good experiences better and some bad experiences better and some ugly experiences a little prettier. And to do that, I figured I'd get somebody whose job is more like your jobs might be, and that's administering an instance with a lot of add-ons. So let me introduce Aaron Jones, who's going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Atlassian add-ons and how we're making it. And then I'll talk about how we're making it better.
Thanks very much for the introduction, Dave. As Dave said, I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit about what my perceived good, bad, and ugly of the Atlassian Marketplace has been, and a little bit about what I do at Good. So if you didn't actually attend my earlier talk, I'm the manager of engineering systems and tools at Good. I've been in the software industry for 6 years. I come from a quality background as a QA, and I've been at Good for 2.5 years. So my team actually is responsible for managing all of our Atlassian applications as well as other third-party applications. We do a lot of IT management, manage our own infrastructure. We do DevOps, and we provide support, something I think a lot of you probably do. This is a whole lot to manage. Atlassian's Marketplace lets us roll out great new add-ons, and we love Atlassian. In fact, we've got a lot of Atlassian add-ons and a lot of Atlassian products. And I actually got tired of putting little images on the screen and just stopped because I have so many, I couldn't fit them all on the slide. So the Atlassian Marketplace, there's a lot of good things about it. Atlassian's had the Marketplace available for, I think, just about a year this summit. And it's great. It's got so much variety. It solves so many of your needs, so many of my needs. There's many approaches, so a lot of times you'll find 2 or 3 different plugins that are solving the same problem in different ways. You can see a lot of different designs, some really great ones, some not so great ones, and developers are constantly bringing out new things, and they're literally showing up daily. In fact, that's one of my manager's complaints, is that every day he searches the marketplace and he says, there's something new that solves that problem. And I looked at him and I said, you're crazy if you think that's a problem, because every day new solutions that may be better than the ones that you looked at previously are showing up. So kudos to all of the Atlassian add-on makers. So some great points about the Atlassian Marketplace is that it's got feedback. You can see what others are saying about it, they're rating it, and this is a really powerful thing. At the same time, it's linking to documentation, and you're seeing any issue tracking that they're keeping. And the Universal Plugin Manager, UPM, is making upgrades really easy. I'm just curious, how many of you in here appreciate everything the UPM is doing for you managing your plugins? And also, I'm curious, how many of you are actually using the upgrade checks to make sure that it's compatible with your version of JIRA? So there's some really great things about the marketplace that makes our lives easier as people who manage an Atlassian ecosystem. And also, the UPM makes discovery easy, really right inside of JIRA. So you can search, you can find plugins that are compatible with the version of the Atlassian software you're using really easily. So I actually had other pictures. So the Atlassian Marketplace represents a significant cost savings for us. We recently switched to the Atlassian stack. We've been on Atlassian products now for just over a year. The only Atlassian product we had before was Confluence. Today we're running JIRA, Confluence, Fisheye, Crucible, looking at Bamboo, Stash, and it just keeps growing and growing. And in literally just a year's time, my budget costs went from an astronomical number down to 70% of that. And my manager was like, this is incredible. The marketplace, such a vibrant ecosystem, the cost point's right. And so it's really empowering to you who's trying to save money in what you do, but also be able to deliver content. And that's a really powerful thing. And you can actually see I'm projecting what it's going to be next year, and my costs are actually pretty static. The only thing that I haven't accounted for are all the great new add-ons that the developers are bringing us here. So that tick for 2014, it's going to go up just a little bit. But compared to what I was spending in 2012, I'm nowhere near it. So that's the great, or the good, but the bad. So all of you probably saw that until very recently, there was a lot of stuff about the marketplace that made things a little kludgy. So not all plugins were available on the marketplace. That's still true today, but Atlassian's working with vendors to get them sold through the marketplace. But having it available through the marketplace means you've got a single point of contact to create those invoices for you. Only one vendor you have to deal with. If any of you have a really great PO process, talk to me afterwards, because I'd love to find out how your finance team manages it. But for ours, adding new vendors, it can be a little painful. Sometimes there's not the variety you need. You're looking for something really particular, and you can't find a plugin you want. And searching, it's just been really hard to find exactly what I want. And say, I've got this version and I need something that does this in this category, and search was just really weird. And sometimes it just never exists. But there's also an ugly component to this. A lot of times there are stale plugins. An example I found here was something that was only compatible with JIRA up to 4.4.5. They're no longer maintained, no one's supporting them. Sometimes they're not safe. So sometimes there are plugins that show up that you don't know that you can trust. And this is a real problem, because you don't want to install something in your Atlassian ecosystem that ends up bringing down JIRA or Confluence for you. And again, search wasn't great, really. It was really bad. So in summary, I asked my boss for a quote, and he said, this has provided us with the resources to quickly and cost-effectively extend our tools' abilities. It's an invaluable resource. That's a lot of marketing speak, but he really does mean it. It really has been an invaluable resource for us. So that's a little bit about what I think. It's a vibrant and growing community. It's going to add so much value to all of your products, and you as well can go add to that community. It's an open plugin system. Anyone can build those plugins with a little bit of time, and there's so much to find. And now I'm going to ask Dave to come back up to tell you about how he's fixing the bad and the ugly. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Aaron. He meant that I am personally fixing everything in the marketplace. So when it's all fixed, you're welcome. So in general, I would say that Aaron's a pretty happy administrator, but there were definitely some things that were making him sad. That's sad, Aaron. In particular, finding add-ons in the marketplace can sometimes be hard, and figuring out if an add-on is any good is hard. Usability and search could be a little bit tricky. But before I can talk about really how we're making the marketplace better, I need to talk about our biggest challenge at the marketplace, which is growth. I have to give credit to our ecosystem of developers. They've made the marketplace better. They've made the marketplace better and made our jobs harder just by building a ton more really great add-ons. When we launched the marketplace last summit, we had 59 partners, and since then we've added new developers like crazy. Today we have 163 vendors selling commercial add-ons on the marketplace, and and hundreds more developing free and open source plugins to help you guys all get more out of your Atlassian products. And it shows, because last September we had 7% of JIRA and Confluence instances had a commercial add-on installed, and now that number is over 30%. That's a phenomenal growth rate. And it makes us excited, and it makes Mike and Scott really excited. And it makes and our ecosystem has responded by delivering even more add-ons. We now have more than 300 paid add-ons in the marketplace and over 1,000 more free ones. But that actually undersells how many add-ons have been built in the last year. To Aaron's point about search, since this summer, we've begun archiving old and outdated add-ons. So basically, if an add-on doesn't get updated, it gets removed from the marketplace. You can still find it in our archive and go download an old version, but it's not going to show up to clutter up your search results. So, like I said, certified fresh. And that's a good transition to go into some of the other improvements we've made in the marketplace in the last year. And they settle around 3 main experiences that an administrator goes through, but I think the improvements that we made are not going to just benefit administrators, but experts that are looking for products to sell to their customers, and also the developers themselves. And those 3 experiences are finding great add-ons that meet your needs, and then learning about them, and are they well supported, are they high quality, are they actively maintained and developed, and then finally trying them out, getting them installed in your instance, and getting feedback from other users in your organization. And that all starting with that find experience, finding add-ons all starts with the Marketplace homepage. And so we've redesigned the Marketplace homepage from the ground up. The new Marketplace is simpler, and it looks a lot more like other Atlassian web properties. We've worked hard over the summer to improve search on the Marketplace. We did a ton of work on our backend to improve our search algorithm, and now we feel good about putting our search front and center on the Marketplace. It's easy to find add-ons, and the results are hopefully going to be a lot more relevant than what you or Aaron might have seen in the past. The other half of the Marketplace homepage is browsing. We want to give you a good idea of what's available in the Marketplace, but also give you an idea of what's available and relevant to you. And so making the Marketplace homepage relevant was all about filtering. You can now filter the entire homepage per parent product. So if you're looking for Confluence add-ons, you click that Confluence tab, and you're going to see a whole list of Confluence. You're going to see different lists and groups of Confluence add-ons. You'll see even categories and curated collections purely of Confluence add-ons. And we've produced a bunch more collections of add-ons that aren't necessarily a category, but target a specific need, like diagrams or tools for product managers, or if you're looking at staffs, then getting ready to go DVCS or migrating from Grit. And we're building more of these collections all the time. Aaron brought up a point about safety, and that's why this year at Summit we're announcing a new program called Atlassian Verified. It's going to measure marketplace vendors on a few metrics that certify the quality of their software and of their support. These metrics include traction, so how long have they been on the marketplace and what kind of customer feedback do they have, their customer satisfaction, so we'll look at download to uninstall ratios and their reviews and ratings on the marketplace. Reliability, so that they update frequency, are there lots of reports of this add-on crashing JIRA and Confluence instances? Do they stay compatible with new versions? Do they provide a security statement? And finally, support. Do they have public documentation, a public issue tracker, 24/7 availability, or an SLA, or 8 to 5 support? We're still hammering out the final requirements, but the end goal is to make sure that you, as an administrator, know that you're getting a quality product if you're downloading an Atlassian Verified add-on. So that's finding. And next, but what about once you've picked one out and you want to learn more about it? And that's the second half of the marketplace, which is the listings for the add-ons themselves. So we've taken 18 months of learning and data and tons of feedback and usability testing, and we've spent time building a whole new look for the marketplace. And I just want to draw your attention to a couple of the new things we've built into the new listings. The first is the tagline. So we enforce a 40-character description of the add-on to help you learn about it right away. And then we've taken blocks of text for that you might have seen before in an add-on description and built that into 3 highlights. So each add-on will provide 3 highlights with an accompanying screenshot and a short description of the 3 biggest features of that add-on. Lower down on the page, we've simplified the pricing displays. It looks more like Atlassian.com, and will hopefully help you learn about how much an add-on is going to cost more quickly. And we've done a lot of more work to help you find more information fast. So we've moved all other information into tabs. So you have a reviews tab, a details tab with more information. You can learn more about pricing, so you don't have to go hunting down on a separate website the pricing information for an add-on. You can find support information even more quickly, and vendors can provide custom installation instructions if need be. So that's so now you can find add-ons better. You learn more about them, and finally trying them out. Hopefully, so trying them out used to be a really sucky process. You would download a jar file, you'd go generate an evaluation license. Even in the marketplace world, trying it out was a sucky process. You download a jar file, generate an evaluation license, you upload the jar file back into your JIRA Confluence instance, you copy and paste the evaluation license back into the UPM, and then finally you can get going, but that sucks. We've done a lot of work over the last 6 months to make this easier, and it all builds off of Atlassian ID, which is the single sign-on service that we've been rolling out progressively over all the Atlassian web properties. It's available for the Atlassian Marketplace now too, but we've built on Atlassian ID in a way that enriches your experience using add-ons and the products themselves. So here's a simple application, the purchased add-ons page. It's like your purchased apps on the App Store. You sign in with you go to the purchased add-ons page, sign in with your Atlassian ID, and it checks through your Atlassian ID, myatlassian.com, to see if you have any add-ons that you have licenses for but aren't installed on that instance, and then quickly grabs that and gives you a one-click install to install that add-on. But that's relatively simple. Something a little more complex. Aaron asked you guys how many of you use the UPM to actually find add-ons. And once you find an add-on, you can learn all about it right in the UPM, and you might even want to try it. So we use Atlassian ID to make the experience of evaluating an add-on really fast. If you're in the ecosystem State of the Union, you already saw this. You can find an add-on, you click the free trial button, it immediately downloads and installs the instance. You log in with your Atlassian ID, and so I sped up the downloading part, but that's not movie magic. That's actually how fast it takes. You sign in, and literally half a second later, everything else goes on in the background, and an evaluation license has been generated for you automatically and applied to your instance automatically. So you can go from deciding you want an evaluation to having it installed and ready to go in about 15 seconds. So that's the new marketplace add-on experience. Our team has worked incredibly hard to make it easy for administrators and experts and developers to all work together to solve each other's problems. But I wanted to leave you with one more parting gift before I take questions. When I am, as a marketing person for the marketplace, this is the first question that I get from anybody that I've ever talked to. So I'm going to go through a few add-ons that I think you guys, if you're a JIRA Confluence or JIRA Confluence administrator, you might want to check out. You've probably heard of these guys, or you're even using them. You can go out to the gold sponsor area if you haven't already and meet them. I'm sure they want to talk to you and sell you add-ons. But here are 5 new add-ons that I think are actually really worth checking out. You might not have heard these before, but I'll go pretty rapid fire. Ink File Picker. It integrates right into the attached file dialog in JIRA and Confluence, and instead of just picking a file from your computer to attach to an issue or attach to a page, you can pick a file, you get a new dialog, and you can pick a file from your computer, but you can also pick a file from Box or Dropbox or Instagram, or but also Microsoft SkyDrive, Alfresco. They have 19 different integrations. Google Drive is on there. You can learn. It's really, really cool. It's available for JIRA and Confluence behind the firewall, and starting today, it's available in Confluence On Demand as an Atlassian Connect add-on. You can learn more about it. They have a podium over in the demo alley and directly behind us. Next, Arsenal Data Plane. It's got a ton of really great built-in reports on JIRA data that are particularly useful for anybody in project management. So you don't have to spend a lot of time putting together your own reports. You can just use these Agile team reports, or you can create your own. And it looks really, really slick. Next, EZBI. It's executed slightly differently. You've got a ton more flexibility to create any kind of drag and drop report. It basically takes all your JIRA data and puts it into little blocks, and you can just drag these blocks onto a chart, and it'll play with the data. I've seen a ton of people over at the EZBI booth this entire summit. So that's available for JIRA both behind the firewall and as a on-demand add-on, and they're over in the sponsor area. Next, Folio. It's also in the sponsor area. It's built by the same guys who built the first version of Greenhopper, better known as JIRA Agile. And the add-on helps teams track budgets and costs of JIRA projects right in JIRA. So you assign your costs, and then you can track, as you make progress across your JIRA project, you can also see how those costs are adding up. If you're looking for another good reason to get away from Microsoft Project, this is probably it. And finally, Enterprise Theme. It's a new theming add-on for Confluence. It's got a bunch of macros and features that are really geared for really large instances of Confluence. And it's picked up a ton of customers without a whole lot of marketing. They're not here at Summit, but they're hunkered down in their mountain in Switzerland building more cool stuff, I think. But definitely worth checking out. And to make your lives a lot easier, I want to save you more time. So instead of trying to make you take pictures of my slides to learn where all these add-ons are, if you just go to go.atlassian.com/summit-featured, I'll wait for you to write down that URL. And all the add-ons I went through today, plus a few more bonus add-ons are available for you to check out. So that's it for me. I hope that you guys all are really way more excited about the marketplace than you might have come into 40 minutes ago, and I'm happy to take some questions.
Here we go. Okay, we have some mics to pass out for questions, so give me 1 second. Thanks again, Dave, and I want to give a special thanks and a quick round of applause for Aaron from Good. We have 2 mics in the aisles. I'll pass it to you, sir, to start.
Could you go back to that slide, thanks. That's no problem.
More of a question, but
I have a question to installing already purchased add-ons. So there is not install all of them at once. So you have to click one at a time, and it's pretty annoying if you do frequent installations. Is there another way to do that?
We didn't build an install add-on or install all because in our testing it seemed like that use case of having more than I think the most paid add-ons in any one instance that we could find was 15 or 20. So, and most people had only in the neighborhood of 5 to 8. So we weren't sure if an install add-on button for paid add-ons was worth it. But I'll pass on that feedback to our team. I'll look to see if we can build that.
Hey, I was just curious. So there's been a feature in the marketplace in the past where you can sort of watch an add-on and get updates, if there's anything like that. Can you maybe talk about what any improvements or changes with that feature in the new marketplace?
Watch add-ons is still there. We didn't do any tinkering with it. We moved the button to start watching an add-on. It's in the more details tab of the add-on listing. And we made an improvement about a month and a half ago where you get nice, rich all HTML emails when you, for people who aren't aware of the feature, you can start watching an add-on and you'll get an email anytime a new version gets submitted. So it's a good way to stay on top of updates if you don't like checking the UPM every day.
You mentioned that you're doing the Atlassian Verified and you're still hashing out some requirements. It wasn't clear when this is going to roll out, and or would already existing add-ons be also certified, or is it only for new ones?
We opened the application available today to. We made the application available on Monday to vendors so they can begin applying. We can get feedback from them and hear about where they are at in terms of their product support and upgrade plans, and begin to finalize our series of requirements. And we're targeting a release in December or January.
Could the pricing go ahead and show what our user or what our license is currently set at instead of 5, 10, 15, 20? Because I really don't care about those, and now I see 500 plus and have to link somewhere else.
Right, that's the dream. We want so I sit next to our user experience designer, and we talk all day about how we can improve this. And the dream someday, because one of the things that's awesome about the plugin manager in the product is that we know everything about your JIRA or Confluence instance. So in the plugin manager, when you're browsing the marketplace, we'll only show you things. We won't, if you're on an older version of the product, we'll show you the most recent version of that plugin that's compatible with your product, not necessarily the most recent version. We can give you the most relevant stuff to you. That's a little bit harder on the marketplace because especially if you're not logged in, we don't know anything about you or what products you have. But that's the problem that Atlassian ID is trying to solve. If you're logged into the marketplace with Atlassian ID, we have a better idea of which Atlassian products you have and how many users in those products, what tier of license you have for those users, and we can start to show you a more customized display.
So prior to over here. So prior to the marketplace, plugins could have their own licensing model.
Right.
So they could be based on a JIRA group or something like that. And now with everything being in the marketplace, it's all based on your Atlassian user count.
Right.
So we're finding that we have 100 user license counts, and some of these plugins are only valid for 2 or 3 people, or the benefit is only for that many. So I know there's been a lot of feedback on that on the sites and stuff. Are you still going with the model that all these plugins have to be licensed to the Atlassian user count?
Right. It's a tricky question because there's a lot of advantages of matching up the licenses with Atlassian. It keeps things really simple. And it provides us a simple way to manage your invoices and renewals and all in one licensing model. And it gets tricky if we have to account for a bunch of different models. What I can say, and I don't want to get in trouble from Nick, is that we are consistently reevaluating. We get that feedback comes through loud and clear, not only from customers, but also from developers and vendors who'd like to have more flexibility with licensing. So we're consistently reevaluating, and I'm hopeful that we can come up with something that's better for everybody.
Yeah. So I know you briefly talked about this, but what is the process of having a plugin being added to Marketplace? Question 1. And question 2 is, like Apple's model, does Atlassian get paid on these add-ons, or no?
You mean just listing any add-on on the Marketplace?
Or buying a paid add-on?
Buying a paid add-on?
Mm-hmm.
it's really simple to list an add-on on the marketplace. Scroll down to the bottom. There's a link in the footer that says list an add-on. If you're already logged in, you can go to there's a manage add-ons link at the top, and you can create a new add-on from there. You can go through a quick 5-step form. You upload a jar file of an Atlassian plugin or a descriptor of an Atlassian Connect add-on, and from a URL that you provide, and we'll pull in as much information that we can. You provide some marketing assets, those screenshots, a logo, that kind of thing. Add some description, add links to your support policy, your documentation, and if it's a paid add-on that's paid through Atlassian using our licensing model, then we'll do a quick approval process that's usually less than a day, and you're good to go. In terms of buying add-ons through Atlassian, that's what the marketplace launched. It simplifies licensing and purchasing because you're purchasing the add-on directly through Atlassian. Atlassian takes revenue share and then passes the most of that revenue back on to the developer. And your benefit as a customer is your benefit as a developer is that you don't have to worry about licensing. You don't have to worry about handling renewals. We'll automatically email the customer to get a renewal, and we'll try to bundle that add-on in with their Atlassian products so that it's even simpler for them to renew everything all at once. And as a customer, you get all that benefit of simple invoicing, simple licensing. And if you're a developer, you don't have to worry about a EULA either, which is a huge pain in the ass. You got any more?
Does anyone have any more questions?
Great. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yep. Thank you very much.